What's up everyone, Coach Jane here. We are doing our theme of the month, and this month we are going to be doing 5 submissions from 5 different positions. So the reason why this is something that I see important, because going into any type of jiu-jitsu match, or just from a mindset standpoint, have a game plan in your mind, right? So if you can at least have in your mind that you have one submission that you want to go for or attempt, at least you have a plan. Now, I'm not saying that that submission is going to work, but create those 5 submissions from different positions. And the different positions we're going to go with is, one, we're going to go close guard, open guard, mount, back, and side control. So think about your 5 submissions from those 5 positions. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's go close guard first. So from the close guard position, in any of your positions, it's very important to, of course, be able to control your opponent. Okay, so in the close guard position, I like to use my legs, my hands to control my opponent. Here, one of my favorite submissions is the cross choke. Here, I come in. Important too, bring your elbow down. You're not flaring your wrists out. You're bringing your elbow down. And I always tell the students, bring your head to your opponent's heart, bring the elbow down, and then you're going to ball your body. Boom. Here. That tap should not take very long to finish. Again, open the collar, hands deep into the collar. Flex the wrist just for that control here. Okay. Now I'm going to take my hand. I'm going to look for the slack. Boom. Here, I find the slack. Bring myself back to the center. Bring my head to heart, elbow down, and finish the choke. Okay, so that's position 1 in the close guard. Second position is the open guard. So, Coach Angelo, start in your close guard, please. Boom, hand in the collar. I'm going to go into my open guard. I like to go from the shield position here, okay? There is a lot of different submissions that you can do from these positions, but again, I want you to focus on what is your go-to position in these positions, okay? For me, my go-to position from the open guard, again, let's control our opponent first. Don't be shooting submissions when your opponent is kind of wild and crazy kids right now, right? We want to control the position, create some reaction. For me, my go-to submission is the triangle. Hips up, bring the arm across, knee to the chest, grab the ankle. Boom. Here, flex the foot, and then finish the triangle. Now, guys, a lot of times when you shoot this submission, especially the triangle, if you just take your time and don't close the position, your opponent may escape from this position, okay? So here's the control. Boom, I'm controlling my opponent. From here, I tell the kids all the time, 3-second rule. Once you shoot it, boom, 1, 2, and 3. And that finish should happen right there. Okay, so that submission from the close guard is just one type of submission for me. My go-to is the triangle. The next submission from the position is the mount position. For me, again, I have a favorite submission from the mount. Again, in this position, you want to be able to control your opponent. Your opponent is going to be a squirmy worm and going to try to escape or try to bump you over. First, I want to be able to control that position. From that controlled position, notice, I like to go high mount. So in this position, Coach Angelo's arm is isolated here from this position, right? Some of the things that he can do when he's protecting himself is put his hand right in his neck area, or what he's probably going to do is bring his elbow down, right? So that he can get right back into this more comfortable so he can begin to hip escape. For me, like I said, I like to control first and make sure my opponent is he's isolated here and he can't get out. I pinch my knee together just to maintain some type of control. And what I like to do here is I like to do a choke from this position, okay? My favorite one is a solo choke. So from here, I'm gonna open the collar here. I'm gonna place my thumb in. I'm going to cinch 1, 2, 3, just so that it's close and tight to his neck. From here, I'm gonna drop my elbow, and then I'm going to pull the opposite lapel down, and then I'm just gonna drive my elbow down to the mat. Boom. And there's the choke. Okay? So again, here, first you wanna control your opponent. Control my opponent. I'm gonna walk up high, just kind of pinch. From here, I'm gonna open the collar. I'm gonna bring my thumb in. Boom. I'm gonna drive my elbow down to the mat, and then I'm going to finish the choke, okay? One of the details here is that cinch, okay? So as you open here, you're gonna cinch 1, 2, 3, just so that way you're tight in, and then that elbow is gonna drive to the mat, and you're pulling down here, and that choke is pretty killer. The fourth position is the back, okay? So from the back, so here, from the back position. Again, control is very important, guys. So control in this position, I like to get the seatbelt grip, okay? So that seatbelt grip, you're gonna go chest to back, boom, here, and then ear to ear, okay? And now from this position, one of my favorite submissions that I like to do here is that bow and arrow from the back, okay? So ear to ear, chest to chest, and I have my hooks, okay? I'm going to feed the hand into the collar, just like this, okay? And then I'm going to grab his pant leg, okay? From here, I'm gonna swing my left leg over, boom, and now I'm over his shoulder, and then I'm finishing with the choke right here. Okay, so from the back position, okay, again, in the back position, as I emphasize, it's very important to get the control that you need of your opponent. So here, I'm gonna get the seatbelt grip, okay? I'm gonna go chest to chest, just like this, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead and find that side. I'm gonna feed the collar. And then from here, I'm gonna find that pant leg. I'm gonna kick my leg to the opposite side, and I'm gonna position my body where it's perpendicular to Coach Angelo here, boom, boom, just like this. And then I'm gonna bring my elbow back, and then I'm gonna pull back, okay? That's my submission from the back. And then lastly, we have side control, okay? All right, so from the side control position, again, guys, I don't know how to emphasize. You can pick your own submission. I'm just talking about mine and the highest, I guess, percentage of effectiveness. So when you pick a submission, like you want to pick the one that you know is going to get you the highest results. Okay, so don't be trying to go, and sometimes you do have to connect your submissions, but if in your mind you're working towards having at least a game plan, like I'm gonna go for this is my thing, you're setting up, you're controlling, and you're setting up your opponent to be able to do those. But if you have nothing in your mind, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever, sometimes that's really what's gonna happen, whatever or nothing. Okay, so side control here. The control is important. We've gone over side control submissions in the past, but here I like to go into what we call our super hold, okay? Hip to hip, your knees are off the mat because I want my pressure on my opponent here, okay? And so once we get that control, it allows your opponent to stay, for them to stay flat. Coach Angel's gonna wanna get to his side, that's his goal. But for me, I wanna control, so I'll go shoulder pressure here, casting a bit, you know, to make sure that he's flat. Once then that he's flat, then it opens up opportunity for me to get a submission. In this situation, I will sit there and go for the arm bar from side control, okay? So here you notice his arm is exposed here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to control his arm, okay? As I control his arm, I'm gonna bring it up towards me, okay? Then I'm gonna step, boom. Now from here, I'm going to pivot, and then I'm gonna finish the arm bar from here. Okay, so that's my go-to from side control. Again, control, super hold, make sure that he's flat, and then once I'm ready, I find his arm right here. Okay, his arm is exposed. Here, I'm gonna pull him towards me. Boom, just like this. I'm gonna step over, boom, pivot, pinch. Here, grab the wrist, and then thumbs up, 7 up. Listen, guys, it's really important, again, like I said, for you to have a game plan in your jiu-jitsu. Have some type of mindset around a submission for every position. Again, sometimes these things aren't going to happen the first time, but if you at least walk into a match knowing that you have something for your opponent in every position or situation that you're in, you can at least begin to work towards how you are going to be able to trick them into getting that submission and tap them out. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Think about what your 5 are. See you later.